What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
The Chronicles of 2000 Trees 2024.
Hello, we're Dream State. I'm Aled.
I'm Tom.
An absolute pleasure to have you, guys. So, yeah, not at all. So how was your personal Thursdays treating you?
It's wonderful. The sun
Great.
is shining.
Guy, I can't complain. Sun is out. It's not wet.
Which is amazing, considering how yesterday was going.
But considering how the whole year's been.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, yeah. Good. Great day.
I think summer's been and gone, I think. We had that blast for like 3 days. I went, no, that's me out, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, cheers, guys. I'll see you all later. See you next year. How was your set yesterday? Enjoy?
It was wild.
It was
crazy.
It was incredible down there, to be fair. If you're getting balls and goals involved, I mean, yeah.
I think that's probably one of the most fun sets we've done. I think just like for us as well. Like, we just enjoyed it. Like, I don't know. We just managed to have so much fun with it. So
I've played trees like 4 times now. And that's by far my favourite.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Even with the inland game being on, I bet you were like, for fuck's sake.
Well,
like,
yeah, it's a bit annoying, but
yeah.
What can you do?
Well, this is very true. But
we made the most of it, though.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, it's good to make the most of what you had. So, with festival shows compared to a Dream State show, would you change the set list up accordingly? So, like, I know you guys have been around for a bit now, but like, if people weren't so familiar with yourselves, say, you were like, oh, we're just throwing all the bangers.
Put all the hits on.
Yeah.
Just play the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. The set is kind of non-stop, really, isn't it? For festivals, it's just like in your face.
Oh, we've got 55 minutes. How many songs can we squeeze in?
Yeah.
Just don't tell Jesse, just go all the way through. Yeah.
Don't give Jess any time to climb on a unicorn. It's fine. But as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Are you familiar with Sophie and her story?
Yeah, it's the Bloodstock stage named after her as well, isn't it?
Yes. So what we're asking people here this weekend, we're just wondering, have you guys ever been treated differently because of being part of this community, whether it be from a stereotype or from the way you look, whatever it may be?
A little bit in school, but quite fortunately, like it was just kind of teasing, nothing bad. So quite fortunate that I've not really experienced any bad stuff to myself.
That's good. What about yourself?
Not particularly negative. I think there's definitely, like, as you say, stereotypes that come with it, or assumptions about like your personality and stuff like that. But I think you can quickly erase that if you speak to people and communicate.
Yeah, and that is the key, because obviously that didn't happen for quite some time.
Yeah.
But do you reckon that in the more modern era, since what happened to Sophie, it's got better for people in the alternative
I think
community?
it's definitely gone better. Like, I've noticed there's no more acceptance, or everyone's just not a dickhead anymore.
Yeah.
Or less of a dickhead.
Yeah.
I think so. It's one of those like touchy subjects with social media, because obviously a lot of people say bad things, and at the same time, I think it's kind of helped in a way, because you got people out there going, I'm me, and other people are going, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
I think it has helped weirdly.
I mean, I used to have people just take the piss out of me for listening to Slipknot, like, Slipknot, Curious, and like, fuck off. Like, now I feel like, I listen to Slipknot, I was like, okay, cool.
And me, I just brought their t-shirt at Primark.
Fucking Primark, get on the bandwagon, the bastards.
I think that's it with social media, though, isn't it? Like, social media is a tool. It's kind of up to us how we use it.
Yeah.
You know, it can be for good or for bad, I guess. Sometimes it's like, that's involuntary bad, but, you know, there can be a lot of good that comes from it as well.
Absolutely. So, bringing it back to you guys, you released your album Still Dreaming in January.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still riding high? How is it still going incredibly well, the feedback on the record?
Yeah, I mean, the songs, everyone was singing the songs. Yes, I think we played 4 of the songs yesterday. Yeah, and then like people singing them, reacting to them, so it seems to be going off well.
Is there plans for the next record, or are we just riding the high of this one for a little while?
There are plans in motion, yeah. We're hopefully trying to record something soon. A couple of tracks, nothing, we're still working on the album and all that, but...
Yeah, do you find with the Spotify generation now, it's all like, that was amazing, what's next?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like... I like albums, I just like the idea of just having a piece of work, but at the same time it feels like singles these days just kind of do better.
It's so weird.
Just kind of, people just want shit now.
Yeah.
No.
Because this album was fantastic, and you've listened about a day, you're like, cool, what's next?
Yeah.
You're like, hang on, fucking hell, that took us 2 years, guys, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
But you are going on tour with Red Hook, October, November. How excited are you for this tour?
Yeah, can't wait. I've been listening to those guys for a few years, so to get them to come with us on tour is quite exciting. And yeah, we're doing some cool. We're headlining Europe for the first time as well, so that's
no
really
way.
exciting.
Yeah, incredible.
Can't
Love
wait
it.
for that.
Incredible. What about yourself? Excited?
Yeah, can't wait. And like, I think for me as well, the tour's not like too long, so I think
Just 2.5 weeks.
it's gonna be a nice like get in there, smash it out, and be like, that was lovely.
I don't think I've ever heard of it, but people are like, I don't want to go home, I don't want to have to go back to...
Honestly, you're out there and it's like, yeah, this is great. But like when you come home into your own bed and you have your own shower, it's like,
Yeah, to
this
be
is amazing.
fair, there is nothing better.
Yeah.
Like when you can just hammer it, like we can give it the beans every night, you know? When you know it's a short stint, beans every night, and then we can rest up. So,
You've got to
excited
savour
for it.
those beans, Tom. Got to savour those beans, absolutely.
Yeah, they're all coming out. Spit it out.
Just don't waste them all too quickly, do you know what I mean? It's 2.5 weeks.
Gone, first show, gone.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it massively.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Really
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
We are the Menstrual Cramps.
Body politics, bollocks to the lunatic. Body politics, gender is before.
Lovely. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here. How are all your personal Thursdays going?
Good. Sunshine.
Good, yeah.
We just played our set, which was wicked.
In the sunshine as well?
Well, I mean, we
You
were
were in a tent,
inside,
but still.
But it was
su-
very sweaty.
You brought it, was it? Wow,
Yeah.
that's all you could ask for, isn't it?
Perfect.
It's one of those things, especially when you play early as well, like you kind of think, are people going to show up? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's got- you know what I mean?
That was a big thing.
Because
So when
we
you
were
s-
second on our stage, so we were like, oh, and it's Thursday, so like a lot of people wouldn't have got their Wednesday tickets, you know.
Yeah.
But it was packed out. It was great.
We love that, especially with obviously with the Wednesday. And people come so Thursday, people are
Yeah.
fresh faced, they're ready to go. So it's
Yeah,
almost
true.
So they're going like, you're like, perfect. Where are we going first? Whereas they're not like, who's on?
Where
right.
am I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
I am hanging out of my ass. So I might go down a bit late. I'll go later. I'll have a nap. For festival shows, though, do you change your set list up compared to like a Menstrual Cramps actual show? Because obviously some people might not be so familiar with yourselves.
It's not really. I think sometimes it depends. We take out some songs which are quite like dark,
Okay.
you know, like songs about like that are like quite dark about like sexual assault and rape and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
well, not at all festivals. We gauge the vibe.
Sometimes it's more like if it's not our crowd, we're like, people might need to hear this song here.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, I think sometimes we bring it in just like because it seems more important that people who might not normally be our like kind of fan base, and maybe
Need to hear
need to
it.
hear it, yeah.
But then sometimes if it's like, especially if it's like early or like everyone's in like a really upbeat mood,
Yeah.
then we like take it out.
Like when we played Carl's birthday party, we were like, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
have
not
a
gonna
happy
sing Yeah, it depends. Also, like at festivals, like it depends. Like we only had half an hour set today. Usually we play like 45-minute sets, so
Oh, okay.
we had to cut quite a few songs
Fair. That's fair.
than our
The
usual
people with
set.
trees don't need to hear this today, guys. We'll just calm it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Are you aware of Sophie and her story?
Yes.
There's a lot of nods. So, we're just asking people today, we're wondering, have you guys ever been treated differently because of being part of this alternative community, whether it be stereotyped for whatever reason, or whatever it may be? Have you guys ever experienced that being treated differently?
Yes. I knew that.
Wholeheartedly, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends because there's obviously like kind of like misogyny, but there's also a lot of like internal misogyny. And I think even as like a band that has like a female fronted, you know, it's kind of like there's only one seat at that table. And so then it makes it hard and a competition between yourselves. And the alternative scene is so small anyway, so it's kind of like pitching against each other. But then if you want to take into consideration of like, you might go to a festival where there's like an alternative stage, but not necessarily like an alternative festival like this. You know, we walk around and we'll experience, you know, people shouting at us, or sometimes you'll go on stage and they'll just be like, oh, do you know what you're doing?
Oh my
Or,
God.
you know,
No.
so are you setting that up for your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just really normal.
Oh
You gotta
my
get
god.
I am my own boyfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, also this T-shirt I'm wearing, this T-shirt we made, Trans Mullet Bitch, is from like what people say about us online, all of our hate comments. And we've got a song called Neo-Nazi, which is literally written from all of the hate comments we get online. And there was a point we were getting like thousands every day. So, yeah.
That's an awesome T-shirt.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I
think it spans from like outright hate to just like subtle someone just assuming that you don't really know what you're doing. Like a few weeks ago I had someone explain to me how a cymbal stand worked when I was playing for my other band, and I was like, thanks. And they were like,
So like I haven't been a drummer for like
Yeah.
my whole entire life.
like, oh cool, I didn't learn that at music college, thanks for telling me.
Oh my God. Fucking hell.
It's so upsetting that it happens inside the alternative community as well. Like
Yeah.
you think, because you say it's small, we should all be there, support each other, look after each
Yeah.
other. You know, one together, whatever. You know, it's a shame it is happening.
Yeah.
But in the bigger world, like since what happened to Sophie, do you think maybe the world's got a bit more accepting of the alternative community? Maybe it's got a little bit better now, or is it still same old?
I think it depends where you live. Like we all live in Bristol, and I think Bristol is like pretty accepting. It's pretty
Yeah.
left wing as a city as a whole. Obviously, we just elected the Green MP in Bristol Central, so I think as a city, it's majoritively positive, and like people don't look at you weirdly. There's all different types of people
Quite
in
diverse.
Bristol. It's very
Yeah.
diverse. But then, for example, like AJ and Zama from Cornwall. I don't know if you want to talk about your experience growing up in Cornwall and like now when you go back.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you know, I had like green hair and stuff, and you would definitely have a lot more looks and a lot
Yeah.
more like jeering. I've been in bars where people have just poured pints over my head for just no reason whatsoever, just like, because what are you gonna do? You know, it's just like a normal occurrence, and you kind of get used to it, which is a horrible thing to say, but you're just kind of like, oh, or, you know, you get started on a lot, and or even like I've gone to shows before, and someone will just like pick me up and just move me out the way like a child, you know, just because they're bigger than me or something, you know. So it's kind of like, yeah, in a small town, it's definitely a lot harder to be like visibly alternative without receiving some stick, but you have to kind of get used to it if you want to live that life, you know. Like,
It's and weirdly not the first time we've heard this today. Like one of the bands spoke to earlier said like one of the members is from Stroud.
Yeah.
And she said like
Yeah.
experienced it my whole life.
Yeah.
But now we live in Bristol and it's great in Bristol.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Bristol.
two votes for Bristol.
Go to Bristol to have a nice time.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I work for like an LGBTQ plus charity. Obviously, I'm based in Bristol, but it's a national charity. And like, I cover the whole of South West and South Wales, and we get a lot of young homeless people who are queer, and they just all want to move to Bristol because they're not safe in like the rural towns or like, you know, in the valleys and stuff, or like maybe they're the only gay person they know. So it's like, it still happens. People are still getting kicked out for being queer, for being trans, for being different. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have a job if it didn't happen. I mean, which, fingers crossed, I don't want to keep my job because I would rather it doesn't happen.
Yes, absolutely.
But the need for that is mega, you know. We get thousands and thousands of referrals every year.
Oh, it baffles me. As a parent, it baffles me. Like, my 12-year-old daughter turned around to me a few years ago and was like, Dad, I think I'm gay. And I went, okay, you happy? I was like, yeah, I'm sorted.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's easy,
like,
isn't it?
It's how did some other parent go, how dare you?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I really don't get it. Baffles
scary,
me.
isn't
Baffles me completely. But let's bring it back to you guys, shall we? You recently released your EP, came out in May. How's it been received? How's it been going?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think we've got lots of good feedback. When we play it live, everyone seems to like it. And people are singing along today, which was nice because it's not
that's what you
been
like.
out that long, obviously,
Yeah.
so that was nice.
moment.
Yeah, I really like that when it happens. We haven't released music for quite a while. Before the end of last year, I think it might have been like 5 years or something. So
Why was there a big gap, if you don't mind me asking?
I think like when we first started, we just released like 2 albums back to back, and then we
Okay.
just sort of like went with that. And then we were writing a new album, then it was COVID, and then
that'll do.
and then we got 2 new band members.
Welcome.
Yes. So then sort of like after COVID, we basically started writing new material.
Okay.
Also, we played so much
Yeah.
in 2019. There was literally not even time to write. I think it was like 62 gigs, and we all worked full time.
Yeah.
So then you're away every single weekend,
Working
and then
Monday to Friday.
working Monday to Friday, and then it was just like, should we write a song? Oh my god, 2019 is done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we just went a whole year without even
another one
having.
shut
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like that momentum of like roller coaster to like not have the time to sit down and write, but then it was also really important to like go and play.
Yes.
So
No, absolutely. Because obviously you get that Spotify generation now, don't you? Where you go, that album was fantastic. What's next?
Yeah.
That was great.
yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, and I
Oh,
don't
shit,
like
hang
doing
on.
that. I love playing live music and like I love all of our old songs, everything we did, and like showing the progression. And I don't want to just like push out like content. Like, you know, we're musicians, we're activists. We all have jobs. Like we can't just churn. And also we don't agree with that sort of, you know, capitalist churn.
Yeah.
Productivity equals wealth, which is also a lie. So we just do whatever we want on our own time frame.
Best way to do it, if you ask me. Best way to do it. Guys, this has been amazing. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit and chat with us. It really
Thank
means a
you.
lot.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
Right,
very
enjoy the
much.
rest of your weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, you
All right,
too.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you both.
Cheers, you
guys.
too.
Thank you.
I'm Shannon Taylor from awakebutstillinbed.
Perfect. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it massively.
Yeah, thank you.
How's your Thursday been so far?
It's been good. You know, it was mostly just we got in, we kind of got situated, and then I played. I didn't really get a chance to go do anything, but I just warmed up and got ready, and I just played. Like I just got off the stage, so yeah, it's been good. You know, it's been fun. It was fun to play.
Excellent. I mean, you've got the sun as well, which is absolutely unbelievable. Because knowing the UK, it was meant to be horrible weather all day, so...
Oh yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was going to rain all day, so really glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. How was the set?
It was good. We did a little thing where we had we're on tour with a band called Your Arms in My Cocoon.
Yeah.
And we had them. They're not on the festival, so we had them play a song during our set. It was really fun, and then they all kind of came on and played on the next song with us, and it was really fun.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was fun.
I love it. So for like festival shows, that sort of thing, do you like change the set list up accordingly to how you would at a Way Better in Bed kind of show itself?
Definitely. We if it's a show that's just like where we're headlining or we're like a prominent actor or whatever, we'll typically kind of structure the set list in a way to make it more like a immersive thing that like, you know, for someone who's a fan of the band will like go in their wave kind of moods will come in, you know, and for festivals and things where we're like opening slots and things like that, where we're trying to be a little bit more immediate, we'll change it. So for example, like we put all the slow songs at kind of at the end, or we have a lot of songs that start off slow and quiet and get loud, and then and so we put one of those songs at the end, and we started the set with all of our like fast songs, so that people would be like, oh, this band plays fast music, they're not just gonna bore me to tears.
I'm sure it didn't happen.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, we only played one slow song, so like, yeah, that's kind of the thing we do at festivals. We try to play all the fast songs that are more upbeat, grab your attention.
Makes sense. So, as a festival, as a podcast, we are ambassadors of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the foundation?
I wasn't until the email that you guys sent me. So I read up a little bit. Honestly, I didn't do like a lot of reading, but I read a little bit about who that was. Yeah. So now I'm a little bit more familiar. It was my understanding is that there was somebody who was murdered, and then her mom started the foundation. Is that correct? And then I think her mom passed away as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, Sophie was walking home from a night out with her boyfriend, and they were walking through a park, and they were attacked by 5 youths. And Sophie never woke up from the coma she was put in. And and it was all because she was a goth. That was it. No other rhyme or reason. Just because she was a goth, she was different. So what we're trying to do is talk to people while we're here today and find out, like, have you ever been treated differently or stereotyped because of the music you listen to or the way you dress, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I mean, you know, It's interesting because the answer feels like obviously yes, but I live in California and no one really cares. Like I intentionally surround myself with people who don't really care about that. Like I work at a all vegan coffee shop where the owner is in like a hardcore band and is like, and you know what I mean, and like so like everyone who works there is like either a punk or a weirdo, and so like we all like I look kind of more normal than a lot of my coworkers do. So it's great. I mean, I love it. I love that, and you know, so I've sort of intentionally cultivated a space in my life, like as an adult, where it's like not a big thing that's a big problem. But I mean, I grew up in Texas. I'm from Mesquite, Texas, and I don't expect you to know where that is.
Nope.
But so growing up, definitely I got stared at and things like that a lot. Yeah. So, it's really sad, like the story of the girl.
It really is.
And I don't know. I mean, it's weird to me because I'm at a place in my life now where the clothes I wear feel kind of like not arbitrary because it's like a self-expression thing, but it doesn't feel like, I never feel like I'm like rebelling against anything. I kind of just feel like, oh, I like these clothes, but I'm kind of lucky to be in a place where that's the case.
Yeah.
And I think other people don't, because I know I'm lucky because I wasn't always in that place. Like I was, I'm from a more conservative area where dressing differently was like a really big problem for people. So it's, and even though my family is like really pretty cool and they're not really they don't care that much, it is really funny when I go home to, my family, and we take family photos and like I stick out a lot compared to like everyone else in my family. So like, yeah, I guess what I would say is I have the experience, but it's sort of like a distant memory. I feel like, to be honest, it's not a thing I super experience. Like I don't really feel like anyone's really like treating me differently because of the way I'm dressed in my current life. But if they are, I'm not noticing it. So maybe,
there you go.
Maybe it's happening and I just don't give a shit. Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah. Best way to be. But looking back on life from when you were a kid or when it happened to Sophie back in 2007, do you think the world's got more accepting and a lot easier for people in this community now?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't have obviously any kind of data or anything based on this, but like my subjective perception is that I see a lot more like punk adults than I used to. I feel that I do. Like I see people with like a bunch of tattoos, working a job, and they're like, covering up their tattoos with like a shirt. You still see them going through like their hands and stuff like that. And they still like are able to get jobs. I feel like it's more and more like accepted or less and less stigmatized, I guess I'd say, like for someone to work in a professional field and have like piercings and have colored hair and have like, tattoos and wear all black or something like that. Like I'm seeing a lot more like punk people kind of being integrated into sort of professional. That sounds nice. Integrated into sort of more professional quote unquote spaces or whatever. So I think so. Yeah. I mean, the world has changed quite a bit since 2007.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 32 years old, so I remember 2007 really well. I was a teenager, and I definitely feel like things are really different now. So
Good. That is what we want to hear. We're hoping it can be a more accepting place. That is what we're after here, really.
yeah.
But taking it back to yourselves, you last released an album in October 23 now, I believe.
Yeah.
Is there new stuff on the way?
Yeah. So yes, I'm working on it with the band. We've had a really busy touring schedule since the album came out, trying to promote it and stuff like that. So we haven't had a lot of time to sit down and write, but we're going to be doing that. I think basically when we're done with this tour, that's going to be when we switch gears to writing. We'll still probably play some shows here and there, but definitely going to focus a little bit more on writing. Yeah, we don't have anything like recorded or anything yet, if that's the question, but we've got a couple of things we're planning. So
beautiful, amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. It means the absolute world.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Oh, thank you guys.
Enjoy this weekend.
I am Hannah from Cherym.
And I am Alana from Cherym.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you both, so thank you so much for joining us. How is oh, not at all. How's your personal Thursdays treating you?
Okay, not too bad. Like,
Yeah?
we just played the main stage at 2000 Degrees. Like, nothing big. Nothing big.
Yeah.
Nothing mad.
Just your average Thursday going on right now, so that's incredible. I mean, obviously opening it up and being on so early, does it kind of concern you slightly when you're like, is anyone going to show? Is people going to turn up?
I don't think so, because like our approach has always been like 5 new fans is better than no new fans.
Yeah, true.
So like, but the more people show up, obviously the better, the great atmosphere of it all.
It's a great. I find with trees as well, a lot of people tend to be like, no, I want to go and check this out. Especially on a Thursday, people are just starting to get here as well, so no one's hungover yet, no one's out of their ass, so you're all good. So yeah, I love that. People go, let's go to the main stage, check this out. Oh, they're incredible. Love this. It's a good way to discover new bands while you're being here.
That's
So-
what you want, yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
Love it. I love it.
So, for a festival, do you change your set list up accordingly so people might not be so familiar with yourselves? It's like, let's just drop all the bangers.
We do. I think we just kind of adapt with what the kind of situation is that we're walking into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did, like, obviously we just put out the debut album as well in February. So we're trying to make the set list a little bit more album focused, but all killer, no filler. Am I right? If I do say so myself.
Are we allowed to curse?
Yes.
Fuck up.
Hey! You fuck up.
So this is a podcast. We are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Are you aware of the foundation?
Yes.
Beautiful.
I love that we were both so confidently.
Yeah, I like it. I
We
like
are.
it. You get what some people are like. I've no idea what it's on about. Enough people are like yes.
Yes.
So what we're asking people this weekend is basically: have you ever been treated differently or had stereotypes against you because you're part of this alternative community?
Oh, aye, definitely. Like, I was the wee emo kid in school. Like, I was lucky enough that I was a wee bit funny in school, so I wriggled my way into being an in-betweener between the popular kids and then, like, what you consider, like, the weird kids. But I always, like, I was, like, that little barrier so the popular kids couldn't get to the weird kids. I was like, right, enough of that, mum, like, stop. And then they actually did listen to me rather than, like, bullied me. So I got bullied into being one of them people to be like, I'm just going to stand up for myself, because I did martial arts and all, so nobody fucked with me, so it was fine. So I just kind of protected all the weird kids. I was like, yous are coming with me.
Yeah.
What about you?
You do, like, you find your own people as well, like in school, don't you? It's like, I don't know, I like was the one that like had no friends at lunch. It's so sad.
Did
But
you
I
eat lunch
did.
in the bathroom?
Okay, I didn't eat it. No, it wasn't that bad. I didn't eat it in the
Did you eat
bathroom.
it in the art room?
No, I
Music room?
ate it. Like, well, maybe
You go
occasionally.
through every classroom to an
maybe
Elvis.
occasionally the music
Art,
room.
history.
But no, I do. Like, I think, like, obviously, like, these types of festivals are so good for, I don't know, like, people that are a wee bit more like us. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's a wee bit less mainstream, and it's like really focused on alternative music and on the scene. And I think that scenes like this is so important because it brings us together as a community, and it makes us kind of understand that, like, it's okay to be a bit different. It's okay to, you know, like this type of music. It's okay to be neurodiverse or be queer, for example, or be, do you know what I mean? Like, we all.
I love the way you went, queer?
I don't know why I did that. Queer. we can
Over here.
literally do it back to each other. Queers. Two queers. May as well just get a tattoo in our head. Queers. Two queers. But yeah. But it's okay to be all those things because we're like in the right company. Like, it's fun. Like, we're all together, and yeah, it's us against the world.
Do you think it's got better though, since obviously the days of what happened to Sophie? Has it got better for people in the alternative community, do you reckon, or is it still a major issue?
I think it's still definitely a major issue, but because of platforms like TikTok and all of that, like, there's been such a surge of people leaning more into the alternative scene. Whether or not it's for aesthetic, I think we should gatekeep it, but it's like one of those things where, you know, because more mainstream people are leaning into alternative aesthetic and dressing, that we don't get hounded as much for that. Whereas I still think there are a lot of areas of improvement where maybe people have never been friends with someone alternative and they immediately just start asking all these just questions that are you shouldn't even ask somebody. But yeah,
Well, to sum it up, it's gotten better, but there is a lot of room for improvement.
Absolutely. I do see completely. I'm trying again. I do completely agree with what you're saying, though. It does seem to be this alternative aesthetic nowadays.
Yep.
That I think we should pick it outside Primark. Keep my metal out of Primark. I think we should all pick it.
I know. Like, I think it's sort of positive for the young teens who are alternative and they don't get bullied as much. But when we look at it, we go, "You would have fucking bullied me 10 years ago."
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you dressing like me now? When you would have fucking bullied the shit out of me in school.
Literally.
So, bringing it back to you guys, as you said, you released your album in February. How was it received? Has it all gone well? Are we loving life?
It's all going pretty well, yeah. It's been like a really fun experience and like journey because we've been working on the album for such a long time before we actually got to the studio to record it. And I just feel like it's just been so interesting watching how people have connected with the songs. Like, we touch on a lot of different topics within the album. Like, some of the songs are about being neurodiverse. Like, me and Alana are sitting here now, but like, Alana's like got autism and OCD, and I've got ADHD, and it's a lot of like the topics on our album were about represent. But like, so like, literally. But like a lot of the topics of the album like touches on being neurodiverse and touches on being queer women as well, and like, you know, Nairi as well, being trans, like wrote the album as well. And like, I think that it's really important that we're putting like to be able to put the message out there so that people can connect to that and understand that there is obviously like a safe space for them as well within, I suppose, bringing it back to the scene, you know, and recognizing that there's a safe space for them here in the alternative community.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Beautiful. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time out and chatting to us. It means the absolute world.
It's a pleasure. Thank
you
so
very
much.
much.
Enjoy the
Thank
rest of your
you.
festival.
Yay, so much
Thank
fun.
you. We'll go underneath. There we are.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Hello, I'm Molly,
I'm Sean.
and we are in the band
Knife Bride.
Oh, love it. That was beer. That was definitely, you definitely
best
practiced that.
so
Yeah,
far.
the best intro we've ever had on the show, I think, ever, actually. So, to be quite honest, don't tell them it's not. I'm joking. How's your personal Thursday been?
Yes. How's Thursday been?
Yeah, how's Thursday been?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fantastic. We just played. We just did the cave.
Nice.
So that was really good fun. And yeah, it was. We didn't know what to expect in terms of turnout because we clashed with Static Dress. So we were pretty prepared and happy to have whatever size crowd. Basically, we're just happy to be playing it. But it was a really, really great turnout.
It was packed out. We're very lucky.
Yeah, good vibes. And there was a kid at the front. Wow. How old do you reckon he was?
I'm not good with this sort of thing, but maybe 7 or 8.
Somewhere between 7 and 10. And he was singing along to all the songs. He was so cute. He had our merch on.
That's amazing.
It was adorable.
I also love the fact that you're like, how old do you think he was? No, it's definitely not. It's definitely wrong. So.
I said one, she said no.
No. Let's branch out a little bit. You know, let's just be. That's amazing, though. That's incredible. It must be an amazing feeling to have people sing your lyrics back to you and that sort of thing.
It always is.
Yeah, massively. I always try and pick people out in the crowd when I notice, because that's just like, that's the best thing you could.
And I think that means a lot to people when you do that as well. When you give them eye contact and you're singing at them as well, they're like, "Oh my god, he looked at me! Oh my shit!"
You're right, but there are certain lyrics that I'm like, are really nasty. So if I point at someone and sing it, I'm like, "So you can die alone." And I'm like,
you, right there, yeah,
I
you.
didn't mean that. Personally. That's something that I think about. That's how anxious I am as a fucking person.
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So, say for a Knife Bride show compared to a festival show, then do you change the set list up accordingly? So if people aren't so familiar with yourselves, that sort of thing, it's like, let's just drop all the bangers in and we'll take a few couple out.
Yeah, well, actually, we have said that we need to put like Grenade back in because that is a banger, and like, to be honest, our set doesn't. Sorry. Come on, you say something.
Yeah, I agree.
No! We're actually together, can you tell?
I can now.
Yeah, there's certain songs where we released first, and as time goes on, not to say you get bored of it, but new material comes in, and we're a sucker for always wanting to play new material, which is a bit detrimental, obviously, with the way of like the climate of the industry and releasing. So maybe festival slots adding back older songs that we haven't played for a bit is always a good thing.
But we wouldn't put like Tits and Teeth back in. There are certain songs that you obviously just completely grow out of. But Grenade,
Song name though.
Grenade, I feel like we could rework. Like there are certain songs that we would rework. But to be honest, the songs that people know, they knew before they were released, because like Sean just said, we were playing them before we released them because we're just too greedy and we're like, oh, this is fun, this is something new. Whereas, am I allowed to say? I don't know. In the future, we will be doing it the right way round. Yeah.
That works.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. So, as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Sophie and her story?
Yes, I am. I know that, God, I don't know how, was it, 15 years ago? I feel.
2007, yeah.
What's that now?
I'm not good at maths.
About 17 years ago, yeah. I know that she was like terribly harassed and in the end was murdered for being alternative. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Walking through a park on the way home from a night out with a boyfriend and were beaten by a group of kids simply because she was a goth.
Yeah.
No other rhyme or reason, she was a goth. That's it. So we're talking to people today to basically ask, like, have you ever, because we're all part of this alternative community, have you ever been treated differently, had the stereotypes put upon you because of the music you listen to, the way you dress, whatever it may be?
Yeah, I think, I'm so glad that you've highlighted that as well. I think it's a really important thing to highlight, and I'm so, like, there's been such an incredible amount of change and support for Sophie's charity going forward, hasn't there? So, but definitely. I think I've actually been really lucky to be part of a large community of. I found my people, I guess it is the way to put it. But I've definitely seen it, like at school. I saw it happen and was like, I've always been gobby, so I was able to intervene. Like that's where I stood in the whatever you'd call it, what would you call it at school, the social hierarchy. I was able to like actually hopefully be something good in that situation. But it fucking sucks and it still happens now. But I'd like to think that more people are finding their people, and that people are also a little bit more understanding and empathetic, and that I don't know. Hopefully there's less of that going on now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the classic thing of as a guy growing up in school, turning into a metalhead, and then there's only a select few metalheads in school at that certain age, and you find your people, and then it's like, I want to grow my hair out, and everyone goes, oh, cool, man. And it took me years to go, no, screw this, I'm doing it. It was a lot with my parents as well, and then as soon as that bridge was gapped, they were like, you're turning into yourself. It's like an identity thing.
It was a stigma, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. For guys, that seems to be the thing, like growing your hair out or like the long head.
I went through it. Yep.
I got it from my mum as well. Like that. To be honest, that was like looking back, the hardest thing that I faced was my mum being like she didn't mean to do anything bad. Like she actually just wanted the best for me, and it was the whole kind of like, I just want you to be as normal as possible, because then you will be happier in life. But actually that's the wrong, sorry mum, that's the wrong message. It should be like, be you, be authentic. But it was more like, Molly, why do you keep looking like you've dressed out of a charity shop? Because I have, mum.
It's a phase, you'll grow out of it.
And I never did. I did, and I was quite miserable, and then I re-entered, and I'm very pleased.
Good. Welcome to Open Arms.
So you sort of touched on it then, answering that, but we are asking as well, like, since what happened to Sophie and yourselves when you had that when you were younger, do you think the world's got a bit better with more accepting with people from the alternative community, or is it still a problem out there, do you reckon?
I think it has, but I could also be ignorant. That's the issue. Like, I obviously we're a bit older now. I don't know what the landscape of school looks like anymore. Like, and I think that kids are the most cruel. Realistically, that's where we face the most of that sort of trauma. But I do think so. I think that luckily like metal and rock and stuff, like it's back in the charts again. So it's like, not that it ever completely left, but like I feel like we're in a time where people are finding it more accessible, therefore the fashion is more accessible, therefore it's less of a thing, less of a stigmatized thing. I don't know if everyone would think that's a good thing or not. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. No,
but yeah, I'd like to think so. I feel like, you know, the music is post genre, a lot of it now, and I feel like we're like that within like fashion as well. I feel like everything is more just like fluid and yeah.
I mean, we live in Brighton, so it is the hub of that. Do whatever you want, be who you want to be creative, and you know, it seems to be that it is very acceptance based there, and be kind to each other. Like I say, do what you want to do, and hopefully that is reciprocated everywhere else. We can only hope, I guess.
Absolutely. That is something we've heard. Like a lot of people that live in towns have gone, yeah, it's a lot better than it used to be. And then you got people that live in small villages have gone, nope, it's still bad.
Well, that is so true. Our perspective will probably be different from someone that lives somewhere much smaller. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like Brighton is a special case as well. You would never ever be like, what? That's crazy. That looks wild.
Like,
that just
Thursday.
really happen. Yeah.
The cities with a B, Bristol, now Brighton. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I'm from Birmingham, but I can't say that.
We never talk about Birmingham, Jeremy. No. We never discuss Birmingham.
Anyway, bringing it back to yourselves, you guys have been nominated for Best Breakthrough Artist and Best Live Breakthrough Artist.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, completely surreal. Completely fucking surreal. When we got that through, I think, was it Sean, our drummer, that got the email first?
Yeah. Why were we all off work? I don't know. That was because we were in bed and they were at home, and we saw it come through, and we all went to the cafe to celebrate.
Oh yeah.
We never have time off all at the same time. It's really weird.
Anyway, it is completely unreal to be pretty independent as it gets.
Yeah, we're completely independent.
Yeah, like apart from individual people helping us do what we need to do and get where we go.
Our management is amazing. Kirsty from 30th Century, she's unreal. But not having a label.
Yeah, not having a label, funding or anything like that. You know, we're trying our best, and things like that make it, you know, so worthwhile. And like playing shows like this where fans are coming to see us and, like you said, singing our lyrics back. It's everything that we ever wanted out of this.
But you never, we never ever expected to get one, let alone two nominations for the HMAs this year. You went, no, we fucking haven't. When I read out, you went, no, we haven't. I was like, hun, we've got two. Like, that's wild.
We're in there with bands that, you know, we've toured with and supported, and bands we love and look up to, and to be thrown in that hat of amazing names is, like, surreal is the only word I always use, because I didn't think this was going to happen for a long time, and it seems like the trajectory is in our favour and it's going really well. We work really hard to do it, but you know, it still doesn't mean that when we get that through, it's not the craziest thing on the planet to us.
Yeah, it does feel wild.
Amazing.
It's nice.
Before we let you go, though, you have just released your new single, Melancholia, last month. How's that been received?
Yeah, it's been received really well. It's lovely to have her out there. It's had loads of wicked support, and like we said, we've been actually gigging it for a while. So it's nice that it's had new life breathed into it as well. But yeah, no, I think people are obviously enjoying it, which is lovely. And yeah, she's a lovely addition to what we've got out already.
It bridges a couple of gaps in our music of like some softer sides and hookier poppy sides, and then at the end the disgusting horribleness that me and the boys throw into it. It's a nice amalgamation of everything that we are about.
And it's the last one with Lauren's vocal on, which is nice. Yeah, Lauren, we love her. She's still very much alive. She's bloody hell. She's just not in the band anymore. She's my cousin, but yeah, she's actually gone on to DJ, which is cool. Yeah, she was ready for something new, and as much as I sobbed when she said she was leaving, I also knew it was the right thing. But to have that as the last piece of her that she's alive, that we're putting out into the world, that felt special.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it feels really good. Feels really good.
Guys, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to all of us. Absolutely love talking to you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely well.
Thank you. It's been lovely.
Cheers.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
So I'm Jeroen Franken, I'm the singer of Arson.
And my name is Reen Bastiaantje Petrus van Dingen. That's my full name. You don't have to try and decipher.
Okay, thank you.
I play guitar in the band Arson, and we're a band from Ghent, and we play a mix between rock and roll, metal, punk, hardcore, a bit of everything, groovy.
Rough and roll, rough and roll.
That's what we do.
I've just got to mention quickly how fucking fantastic you look.
Thank you.
Like, absolutely unbelievable. You've come
I was
out.
going to say the same thing about you guys.
Oh, shut up.
You look lovely.
What a lot of shit.
I'm starstruck. I'm going to say it. I've got a slight semi. I'm going to say it.
I wonder why we're falling backwards a little bit.
I'm literally at a loss for words.
There we are.
But
it's a good start.
I'm hard as a rock. Being in front of you.
is that a Belgian thing, or is that? Yeah, okay.
There we are.
Absolutely unbelievable. How's your personal Thursday going so far?
It's pretty good. I'm actually really happy to be abroad for a couple of days, and it was really funny. Like we rented this Airbnb, which was like a Clue house, like it was based on the game Clue. So we woke up.
We had to find a body first, so that's quite a strange start of the day, but fair enough.
So we had to solve a murder when we woke up, and then we drove here, which was nice through the English countryside, and
there's been a lot of bad weather in Belgium for the last couple of days, so we were thinking, it's going to be our first time in the UK as a band. Hopefully,
it's muddy, rainy.
We were hoping for a bit of good weather. It can't be better than this, can it? I mean, this is pretty much the best weather you're going to get in the UK.
This is peak UK summer.
It's all the summer we get, so, you know.
It's only going to last today.
Maybe it's because you guys won at the Euros that...
I mean, I'm from Scotland, so
sorry.
That's okay.
All right, that's the end of the interview. Fun being here.
Absolutely livid the Dutch didn't win. Anyway, it's fine. It's one of those things. It's okay. I mean, Belgium weren't exactly great either, so...
No, definitely.
Which is weird. With the team you have, I was quite shocked.
We had.
Well, you had, yeah.
A long way away.
But Lukaku... Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Sorry. Let's just start getting involved in fucking football.
Do you still want to have a fun conversation?
Yeah, we do, yeah. You mentioned that you were in a Cluedo house.
Yeah.
Was it Lean with the pipe in the library?
It's always me with the pipe. Never in the library, though.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I was so close. That was so close. Fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I had a didgeridoo in my room.
Did you actually?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I had a safari room, which was pretty, it was interesting.
We can send the pictures.
Yeah.
We'll send the pictures.
Okay. I look forward to seeing those. Of the room, I hope.
It's a bit more expensive on our OnlyFans, but...
Oh, yeah, I thought it might have been.
You can see his real didgeridoo.
It was a Jumanji type situation.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. All right, awesome.
Oh, fucking perfect. Anyway, how was your set today?
It was amazing. As I said before, it's the first time we're in the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have changed from moving from Brexit over to the entire... We were in bands before Arson, and coming over to the UK was a bit easier.
Yeah.
Now we've held off a bit, Big Phil coming, because it was quite a hassle doing it. We didn't know what the climate was and all that. So we were thinking, first time in the UK, it's probably going to be a bit light. Not a lot of people know us. We haven't done any PR here or anything. But then we opened the stage and people kept coming in, and I think at the end of the first song, I'm not going to say the tent was packed, but we could see all the way to the back, and people were dancing and waving. And we've got our bartender on stage who brings shots to the front row. And I think we had 4 bottles of whiskey, and I think
at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it was all gone. So it must have been a pretty fun thing for us, and hopefully for the people as well.
I think it was pretty amazing to see like people actually sing along, even though it's the first time we play here. And I'm like, wait, you guys know our songs? Like, what the fuck?
It must be an amazing feeling.
Really, really
like
good.
incredible.
It was great.
I know you say you haven't played over here as Arson much, but like for a festival, do you change the set list up accordingly? So like if people aren't so familiar with yourselves, just drop all the bangers in rather than play the usual?
Definitely. Well, we just had 30 minutes to run through today. And I think if you're going to listen to our music on like Spotify or any streaming service, or you listen to the album, there's quite a lot of diversity in there. We're not just going on full fifth gear all the time. We've got some dynamics in there. There's some clean songs. There's a lot of vibes on there. But we feel like for a festival today and the first couple of days of actually good weather, we're not going to do the sad stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're going to set the stage alight with the most fierce numbers we've got. So we took some the best number of our EP and then the fastest number of our full length. And I think it matched really well with the crowd and it got a good reaction. So really happy with that.
The thing is, like, when we were discussing the set list for festivals, we literally said, like, if anybody feels safe, we're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like, we only want it. It's like only victims. Like, we only want to. It should be like a fucking carnage, and that's kind of like the mindset you have to go into.
Definitely.
I love it.
So, us as a podcast, we are ambassadors for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yes.
Are you aware of the foundation and what they do?
Well, once you guys contacted us, we kind of looked it up online just to have a quick skim of what it's about. It's about diversity and alternative scene and what what the world's view is on them and whether that's still a safe space to be in.
Yep.
That's kind of what the gist I got from it, but I'm guessing I'm missing a lot of the details of what actually happened.
Basically, the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is based because Sophie and her boyfriend Rob in 2007 walking through a park on their way home from a night out and were attacked by a gang of youths, about 5 or 6 of them I believe it was, and Sophie was put into a coma and never woke up. Her boyfriend fortunately did wake up, but his life's never been the same since. And this was simply because they were goths. It was the way they were dressed. They didn't know these kids. They literally walked into a park, had abuse held on them and were beaten for the way they were dressed, basically. So all we're trying to do is just speak to people this weekend and see if, because you are part of this alternative community, we're all one big family here, have you ever been treated differently because of the way you dress, the music you listen to, whatever that may be?
I think I can. It's maybe a weird way to describe it because it's not my native language, but I think the reason we end up in this scene is because we are the way we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not different because we're dressed the way we dress that way because we're different, and it's something that it's inherently part of yourself. So I've seen those things happen to people. It's not always about the way you're dressed or the stuff you're looking at or listening to. It's mainly who you are, and that's a big problem, I think. Obviously, we're talking about this situation, but when you look at race, sexuality, gender,
absolutely,
that's just who you are. There's nothing you can do about it. And
but it's also like I gotten into so many fights when I was younger, like just because like I was very much into black metal, so I would wear like this bullet belt, this fucking long ass coat, like this fucking Neo Matrix coat, and
I had one. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I think what Reen says is very true. Like I think a lot of like what people are looking for in this scene is more of a sort of a catharsis, and of like things that we've, you know, maybe like went through as kids, or you know, like the way that we view the world, and that we just like need something to like cope with, and then also just like fun, heavy music. But I'm really sorry to hear the story, guys. Yeah. Like guts me. Like it's fucking terrible. Like we both lost friends to various things, and it's fucking terrible. Yeah. So
it is a horrible story, but that is why places like this are so important, though, because it gives people in that community a break. But looking back for like when you were younger, or even 2007 when this happened to Sophie, do you think the world's got better at accepting people in this alternative community?
I feel like the extremes have become more extreme. I think most of the general public, like, I'm not going to say the vast majority, but I know a lot of people who are like transgender and all of those topics. There's a lot of people that connect with those topics in a very normal way. It's just a human way. You've got these extremes on the left and on the right, and those are the loudest. And it's very hard to say, like, how did we actually evolve? Because I think it's great that we've got more attention about these topics, and we're discussing it more, and we're talking about it, and there's platforms about it. But it's rough to see that those extremes have become louder as well. So is it actually worse, or is it just louder? I'm not too sure, but if I hear about these stories, I think maybe I've been spared about these really horrific things, and it hasn't really come that close to me. But we come from a town in Belgium, Ghent, there's a lot of diversity there. I think that there were elections recently. We were the only city that voted left and for more green and more nature and more diversity, and there should be social housing. We're the city that does that, and the entire country is voting right. So perhaps I'm biased and I don't see the full picture because I'm in this community that's actually very supportive. And if I look at the rest of the country, I'm like, whoa, is this a bubble that I'm living in? So I'm not too sure, actually.
Well, to kind of like not to counter that, but I do think that like the whole scene has become way more accessible. I think that like when I was growing up, going to festivals, and like when did I start? Like 2003. The separation between like heavy music and different genres. I think like festivals like 2003's and Roadburn and Amplifest and like those kind of festivals have a big part to playing that. Like, how do we cross borders in music that is, you know, like heavy music, but that also has like hip hop and that also has like drum and bass, like fucking Pendulum played at Grass Pop this year.
Yes.
Like I could never imagine that in 2008. I was being like, fucking posers. What the fuck? But now it's like I understand, because there's like this. I do think there is more of like a mutual understanding amongst people, like where like the music is kind of like divided in things that have emotion and things that don't. Like the whole EDM pop stuff is often, you know, I do believe that some people get something out of it, but there's like a difference in between, like, I think like real music. If I'm describing it in a very binary way, but it's like you have kind of this, and I think that has grown, or like those communities have gotten closer to each other. But I still think that there's a lot of ignorance and like misunderstanding in the world in general. Sorry, that was a very long explanation.
I think in the end we'll always be the underdog. Like when it comes to genres and diversity, this type of festival is always going to be alternative. It's not going to be the mainstream. But it's good that we keep them having them, and we see them growing, and there's more people coming. So I think it's working.
Absolutely. But bringing it back to yourselves, you released your album last year. Yep. How was it received? Has it gone down well?
Well, actually, it's been a while since the first EP and the full length, and we had a big evolution in the band. We were doing quite a lot of things now. And if you've only heard the EP and you listen to the album, you could say, whoa, this is different, and that was the goal. And I think the reaction live, that's always the way we evaluate whether it's good or not. And our live sets have been growing every time. The audience is coming back. We're really having a lot of fun festivals like this, 2003's, for instance. So yeah, I would say the reaction has been positive. But we always evaluate it on the live performance, speaking to people, seeing people in the eyes, because everything that's written online, everyone's a skeptic and an elitist and all that. So we tend to stay away from those. Well, it happens, but it's moments like these that we evaluate whether we're doing a good job or not. And we're really enjoying it. Yeah.
And plus, at the end of the day, you want the opinion of your fans, not some idiot behind a keyboard. So.
Exactly.
Gents, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. Really
Thank you guys a lot. When will this be live, actually?
Well, when we get back, I'll start editing, but we'll tag you in all the
relevant.
Sounds great.